Hello to everyone who is watching this video. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a guardian farm inside of Minecraft Bedrock Edition that will get you a whole bunch of XP, guardian drops and fish per hour. It is super efficient, you don't have to do anything, and you can also take advantage of the looting 3 enchantment due to this using Trident killers. It does not use the Nether dimension to transfer the guardians to it, so this should never crash any of your Minecraft world. Now, yes, you will want to create a perimeter for this guardian farm, an underwater perimeter, as well as lighting up all those caves to prevent any other unnecessary hostile mobs from spawning. You do not have to though, it will work perfectly fine if you don't really have too many other hostile mobs around the area. In fact, I'm not even using a perimeter for this guardian farm below me. And it's getting so many drops. Speaking of drops per hour, without even a perimeter, this guardian farm will get you over 26,000 drops per hour. That is more than anyone needs, and you are going to need a lot of double chests to store all of those items. You can expect to get a whole bunch of Prismarine Shards as well as Prismarine Crystals to build all those sea-related blocks, and also fish, because guardians also drop fish for some reason, and other various ocean mob-related items like ink sacs, because squids and other fish also spawn in this farm too. And later on in the tutorial, I will be showing you how to implement a one lever on and off system, so you don't have to go around to all the different modules and activate them and deactivate them, and it's just all much more simpler. One last thing I want to say is that this was a community voted farm on the community tab of my channel, where every single week I post a poll and people can vote on what tutorial they want to see me make next. This farm is pretty straightforward, easy and simple to build, so why don't we go and get into the block by block tutorial. World download in the description as well as the materials list. Let's start right now. Firstly, you will need to locate an ocean monument inside your Minecraft world. These are rare structures inside of the ocean. I'm not going to go over how to find one of these, but once you do, you will want to go inside and kill all the Elder Guardians and collect any other various resources you may want, sponges being one that we will use in a second here. Otherwise, once you have done that, you can simply leave the monument there, as this tutorial does not require you to get rid of the ocean monument, unlike a lot of other tutorials. Go to one of the corners of your ocean monument and then pile up a whole bunch of blocks until you get to the surface of the ocean. Then do the same for the 3 remaining corners of the ocean monument. Once you have located the 4 corners of the ocean monument, you will want to connect up the sides until you have a square. Then, once you have done that, you will want to extend the wall down by 2 blocks into the ocean, as I am doing here as a quick example, all the way around. Following on from that step, we are going to add a floor to the farm 1 block below the lowest layer of the wall. When you have filled in that whole entire area of blocks, you will need to somehow drain the water from this tub you have now created. You can do this however you like, by filling it all up with blocks and then breaking them all, by using commands, which that seems a little bit cheaty, or the easiest method I have found is to go along and section the water off into strips and then use sponge blocks to soak up all the water. You can find sponge blocks in ocean monuments, which you would have found if you are making this farm. Now that we have done all of that draining, you will want to find the northwest corner, also known as the west-north corner of your farm. To do that, look at where the sun sets, and then go to the right-hand corner of the sun. So when the sun is setting, go to the right-hand corner of your farm. I hope that is clear enough. Once you have done that, go in diagonally by 2 blocks from that corner. Then replace one of the floor blocks with a block of packed ice. You can also use blue ice, however that is a lot more expensive. Count over an additional 10 blocks to the left. I am placing those blocks so I can more easily count. Then place another marker block. Go over an additional 15 blocks, marker block, 15 blocks, marker block. Go over 9 blocks to the left one last time, and then a marker block. Head up to the northwest corner once again, and now we will be doing the same but on the opposite axis. 10 blocks to the right, add a marker block, 15 blocks, marker block, 15 blocks, marker block, and then 9 blocks, marker block. With the ice blocks that we have placed, we should now be able to fully create a grid pattern by lining them up. So line up 2 of the ice blocks here in line with each other, and then create another ice block. And so we are going to fill in this entire platform with ice marker blocks. By the end, it should look something like this. Okay, now heading back up to the northwest corner, we are going to create one of the killing chamber modules. Start off by extending the ice blocks 2 blocks to the right inside of the ground, 2 solid blocks as such, and then a repeater facing towards the right hand side, 2 pistons facing towards the ice horizontally, with redstone dust on top of them and to the left hand block. Now simply get 2 tridents and throw them in the center of those 2 blocks. Place 3 supporting blocks like I am doing here. You can use glass blocks if you want to be able to see inside the farm, and then a slab on the upper half of that last ice block. You can continue to encase the area as I am doing here for extra safety. However, you do not have to if you do not want to. Just remember that you do place water inside of the killing module. To finish off the module, place a block with a redstone torch underneath it, then 1 piece of redstone dust on top of that block, and you will see that the trident killer will extend and retract the pistons constantly. To make it so you can turn this on and off, simply add a lever on the side of that block and flick it down to turn the system off, and then up when you want it to be turned on. Now all you have to do is, with each dot inside of the grid we made earlier with the ice marker blocks, you will want to continue to make these modules again and again and again, just like we did. However, only do this for the first 3 rows on the left hand side of the farm, assuming that the top of the farm is in the north direction. So these 3 rows here. After you have built all of those, you will be creating killing modules again, except facing the opposite direction. I'm building one here as an example. It is exactly the same, just facing the other direction, and you will of course want to do that with the remaining 2 rows of grids you have. After that is complete, we will then need to create a pathway that the items and EXP will transfer along to a central area that they can then be collected at. So go 2 blocks out from the right in the northwest corner here. Following on from that, break 11 blocks to the left hand side until you meet the other module. Keep on going, 8 more blocks, where on that 8th block you will have it outdent by 1, and then go down to that 3rd module inside the row. You should have them connect up simply like this. Extend that outdent until 2 blocks in front of the other row of modules, and then simply extend out another line, connecting up those modules until you have 6 modules that are all interconnected with each other. Okay. Do that again, but on the other side of the farm with the other 2 rows. Until you can have the horizontal line simply extend all the way down the middle and then connect with the other side. Now we are just going to go and connect up the rest of the modules. So extend a line up here, break a block, and then break a block here. We will be filling in these gaps with ice blocks shortly. You can do that as you are breaking the blocks if you wish, but for now I am just breaking the blocks and then going to place the ice blocks in later. Remember to do as I am doing on screen. Now just replicate what we did in the top corners in the lower bottom hand corners. You should finish with a pattern that looks identical to the one we have here. Now simply go and fill in all of those gaps with ice blocks. I would recommend packed ice as it does not melt. You can use blue ice if you want a little bit extra fast item transportation, but in the long run it will not affect how many drops you get per hour. Bring out your slabs so we can create a wall around every single block of packed ice we have inside of this farm that is not inside a killing chamber. chamber. Basically, we are going to create an area so the water does not then escape and destroy all of our redstone. So on both sides of the item transportation iceways we have here, we are going to place a whole bunch of slabs. I have explained this in as many ways as I can think of, so just do what I'm doing on screen, okay? You are so close. The farm is almost finished completely. We just need to add water into the water streams. So get a whole bunch of buckets and also buttons, as that is what we are now going to be doing. Start off by placing a water bucket in that area right there in front of the killing chamber. Then a button and then another water bucket. In certain cases like this, when you have the water overlapping back on itself, you will need to place a button 2 blocks after one water source sometimes, which may seem a little resource ineffective. However, it's just what you have to do sometimes. Anyway, I'm not going to commentate over placing water buckets and buttons, as it is very self-explanatory and does not really require too much information. Just place buttons and place water buckets. I will keep this part in the video so you can look back on it if you are having trouble doing it, but really you want all of the water to lead to this central location here. This is where everything is completely up to you. I will just give you an example of a bubble column elevator, which will also be around the location of where you AFK at for convenience sake. So I am going to use glass blocks to create a mini tube with a soul sand block at the lower section. After filling this whole entire tube up with water, it then creates a bubble column elevator pushing items upwards. So when we throw an item into the water stream, it will then go into the bubble column elevator and to whichever sorting storage system you like. I will not show you exactly how to build a storage system because it is pretty simple, just a whole bunch of hoppers and chests. That part is completely up to you. However, if you do want me to give you an example of what I recommend for a storage system on this type of farm, then just let me know in the comments and I could maybe create a second channel, link a video, and everyone lives happily ever after. I recommend that you make the glass chamber 20 blocks tall. That would also be a good area for you to AFK with your looting 3 sword if you also want to get those extra drops. One optional last feature you can add to this farm if you like is a 1 lever toggleable on and off switch. So instead of going to each and every one of the trident killers and then flicking all of those levers to turn the farm completely off or completely on, you can hook it up by placing glass blocks above the water stream. I have found is a very easy method, and then just hooking it all up with a redstone wire and a few repeaters to extend the signal length, and then back to 1 lever. So you can flick it to turn the farm off and unflick it to turn the farm on. Anyway, that is the end of today's tutorial. I hope you did enjoy this guardian farm and hopefully you do get a lot of use out of it so you can get all those sea lanterns and even a few ink sacks and fish too, because apparently this is a squid and fish farm. Always have a smiley face and I will see you later. Goodbye.